Not permitted. When the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was considered, this is the stimulus bill. By the way, this is a new CBO report, Congressional Budget Office. The CBO and the staff of the Joint Committee on Taxation estimated that the stimulus would increase budget deficits by $787 billion. The CBO now estimates that the total impact from 2009 to 2019 of Obama's stimulus will be $831 billion. So by the CBO's estimate, close to half of that impact occurred in fiscal year 2010. The bottom line is this. The amount of money that they calculate the stimulus will cost and add to the deficit equals $4.1 million per job created. That's the efficiency we got from the regime. $4.1 million per job. And the reason it's $4.1 million per job is because there weren't that many jobs created. We've got new unemployment news, by the way. It's Thursday, and what does that mean? It means that we have a revised figure from last week. New claims for unemployment benefits rose last week for the fourth straight week, which could heighten concerns the labor market recovery is softening. This is Reuters, and they're worried. Reuters is very concerned. This was not the trend. Remember last week and 2 weeks ago when they were telling us that the unemployment claims, the new claims for unemployment insurance, were steady, maybe dropping 1,000 or 2. They said the number doesn't really matter. It's the trend. It's the direction. It is the trajectory. It's the momentum. Well, for that to mean anything, the trend, the trajectory, the momentum better continue down. And now it hasn't. New claims for unemployment benefits rose last week 10,000 to a seasonally adjusted 383,000. Last week's figure was revised up to 373,000 from the reported 370,000. Economists that were consulted by Reuters had forecast claims unchanged last week. So in real numbers, given that last week's figure was 3,000 higher than what was reported, the new claims number is up 13,000 from what was reported last week, not 10. I know numbers are hard to follow on radio, but let me try. Last week, they tell us 370,000 claims. Right? But wait, no, because it was revised upward by 373,000. But they're reporting 383,000, which is going to be revised next week, probably 386 or higher. So we've actually had an increase of 13,000, not 10, if we consistently report numbers. But the point is they never report the worst number because the worst number is not available for a few days later afterwards. So they revised it up. Now, I could spend a lot of time here. You know, my relentless quest for the truth. This never stops. Relentless daily pursuit of the truth. And I went back into our archives and I dug out the Reuters and the AP articles about weekly jobless claims from the past 3 weeks. And I did this just to be able to demonstrate how the one-party media that we have here is lying to us. Now, I've been pointing out for weeks now that Reuters and the AP and the rest of the news media have been hiding the increase in new jobless numbers by reporting the unrevised number, which they then compare to the prior week's revised number, which is deceptive since the new number is always revised up, in this case worse than what was originally reported. In fact, the weekly jobless claims number has now been revised up 19 weeks in a row, and 64 out of the last 65 weeks, meaning that the 383,000 job claims reported today, it's going to be 386, 387, who knows? It's going to be revised upward next Thursday. But that number will never be reported. So the number is always worse than what is reported. Now, though, what's happened in today's story, Reuters is doing an about-face, and they're actually admitting that new jobless claims have gone up for 4 weeks in a row. This is unprecedented in the modern era. Reuters and AP have been carrying the regime's water on this unemployment news, and even today they're trying to. They report the numbers and they're right about it, but then could heighten concerns. The labor market recovery is softening. Now, Reuters has not shown any recent concern about the labor market softening. They have been trying to tell us that it's on the verge of burgeoning. They've been saying just the exact opposite. Now, what is with this sudden admission of what we've been saying for weeks? The job recovery market doesn't exist. The unemployment number is coming down because of people leaving the workforce. It's not because new jobs are being created. Now, Reuters has done a 180. AP has not. AP will not give up the ghost. AP's headline is U.S. filings for unemployment aid at a 5-week high. The number of Americans seeking unemployment benefits rose last week to a 5-week high. Evidence the job market remains sluggish. What happened to last week when the trajectory was what counted? The downward direction, the momentum. We were all headed in the right direction. Finally. Labor Department said Thursday the weekly applications for unemployment rose 10,000 to 383,000. No, they had to rise 13,000 from what was reported last week to get to 383. They reported 370 last week, not 373. The 4-week average, a less volatile measure, increased for the first time in a month to 374,000. Applications had leveled off at about 370,000 for 4 weeks. That decline suggested hiring could pick up in May. Oh, no! But when applications drop below 375,000, it suggests that hiring is strong enough to reduce the unemployment rate. But the AP doesn't even bother to mention that new jobless claims have actually gone up 4 weeks in a row. And I think with as much time has been spent on this, the American people are now wise to the reporting of unemployment news, and they're greeting all of this with laughter. And it's not hard. People are living the reality of the job market, and AP and Reuters and the rest can do everything they want, try to convince people that everybody else is doing well, and there's no evidence. You don't see it. Nobody's living it. So they're now becoming jokes. Let's